Good day. A report on a construction site in the city of Semmering, Austria. In the video, we see the walls of the building's basement foundations, which are in poor condition. The walls show traces of years of flooding by rainwater because the vertical insulation of the basement walls is missing or damaged. During heavy rainfall, water flows over the connection between the walls and the floor of the interior rooms. The current condition of the basement walls can be described as dramatic, as they are constantly flooded by rainwater, which damages the building's interior structure and promotes mold growth on the basement walls. Salts contained in the ground and building materials, such as chlorides, sulfates or nitrates, when dissolved in water, in this case in rainwater, penetrate the walls where they deposit upon the evaporation of the water. These salts crystallize and exert strong pressure on the material in which they are located, meaning on the brick wall, the plaster, or the mortar. The result is the destruction of the plaster and subsequently of the masonry itself. This phenomenon progresses like an avalanche. Due to the difference in potential, crystallized salts are present in the masonry, attracting moisture. This, in turn, leads to further development and crystallization of the salts. What can be done to effectively eliminate this problem and dry the wall? There are two options. The first, generally known method is injection. This means injecting a special construction chemical at intervals of about 10 centimeters into the corners at the wall joints. This method is used on partition walls to prevent capillary rise of water and also at the junction of interior walls with the floor. If salt and moisture need to be removed from the entire wall, grid drilling, meaning every 10 or 20 centimeters, should be done across the whole wall. This can be seen in the attached video. This is a good method as it blocks the water for 2 to 5 years, depending on the quality of the workmanship and the chemicals used. The lifespan of the injection is greatly influenced by the chlorides and salts in the groundwater, which dissolve the chemical used and the so-called plasticizers contained in it. The second method is the NCT method. This is a solution with a 30-year guarantee on the tightness of wall and floor joints. Unlike chemical injection, it is not necessary to drill holes in the wall every 10 or 20 centimeters. Instead, a joint is made along the wall by cutting a groove in the floor, which is then filled with NCT insulation. After cutting such a groove, we can clearly see where the water is leaking and we seal these areas with 100% mineral mortar. Unlike point injection, we seal every millimeter of the wet and salt-damaged building material with NCT crystal. Unlike chemical injection, it is a 100% reliable seal. What does the term water-active sealing mean? Well, the crystal agent not only coats the surface of the wall and floor but also penetrates the masonry and floor at a rate of about 5 centimeters per year, binding the water with lime and salt by forming microscopic crystals in the capillaries of the masonry. In this way, NCT crystal transforms the wall into a waterproof stone. This chemical reaction is slow but effective. It is the only form of active sealing, as opposed to chemical injections or sealing slurries, which act more like a waterproof wallpaper and only melt water on the surface without removing it from the masonry. Through the chemical combination of water, lime, cement and salt, NCT crystal gradually dries the masonry and shifts the dew point outward from the masonry. After a period of about 10 days, the walls are already dry and can be painted with mineral paint. For exterior walls where the water problem extends over the entire wall, we use the NCT crystal spray method. This creates a full surface layer of our material, which we then further protect with NCT ZEM sealant mortar. Unlike chemical injection, this is a full surface coating that eliminates irregularities in point insulation. The principle is the same as using NCT crystal for sealing the wall and floor surface. NCT crystal penetrates into the masonry, forms a uniform barrier, utilizes all lime salts and gradually shifts the dew point outward. The warranty for our wall sealing services is 30 years. Why such a long warranty? Because our first major project was the renovation of the arcades of Schönbrunn Palace in Austria. In 1995, we successfully sealed 2,300 square meters of walls. Since then, the building has been visited by around 20 million tourists. It is also important to mention that we perform NCT services in new buildings. For example, the insulation of garages and private houses. In conclusion, we look forward to your questions and wish you dry walls.